Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tap 10 podcast. This is episode number 22. I gotta say, these weather changes, man, they're kicking my ass, you know? Man, my voice is not what it used to be. I don't know if it's that noticeable, but to me it is. Sound a lot deeper. I sound like a real man. I'm not a little boy, Papa, type shit, you know? Uh my God, whenever I hear Papa now, I just be thinking of that fucking Pinocchio movie. You know, I didn't even know that it was nominated for shit. Or no, no, no. I didn't know that the Pinocchio movie, the most recent one, was even a thing until it got like promoted. Until I saw it being like recognized at an award show or something like that. And just seeing the animation and just how weird the dialogue is. That just looked insane. I was like, ew, don't bring that to my screen. I don't want to watch that. He looks, he looks stupid. And then just the way that he was speaking, stretching out his words and shit. That's not the Pinocchio I remember. You know, long nose ass. But yeah, I forgot that the Pinocchio movie existed. That's the problem these days, man. There's no good promotion for movies anymore. People don't go all out like they used to. But that's a topic for another time. Today we got a bunch of crazy findings, a bunch of crazy stories, and it's been a busy week for your boy. You know, I've got to get my life situated, how to get the ball rolling, if you will. And I'm being thrusted into that adult life, man. It's really real. We're really out here in the free world. But I gotta say, I was at the DMV, last Saturday, and I was doing my business, whatever. And this woman was just quite a character. This woman, because I was standing there in line, and then I just see the security guard guarding like this little entrance that was in the back, and there was just this woman screaming, and she was like tomato red until she sat down at one of the chairs that were available in this big empty space. She sits down, and everybody's like, okay, whatever. To some woman who got denied access, and as I'm going through the line, and more people are going ahead of me. She just fucking comes out of nowhere, and she starts screaming. Why are they asking me so many personal questions? They're asking me about my height, my weight, and my marital status. And then it's like dead silence, you know? And then I go up because now there's a person available. I sit down and this guy is talking, we just get cut off because this woman, yeah, I'm divorced. And she just starts screaming that shit. Yeah, I'm divorced. Yeah, I'm divorced. Recently divorced, for your information. And we collectively looked at each other. Me and the guy that's helping me, which is like, you know, like that little cheesy like freeze frame where you both just turn your heads at the same time. And I knew exactly what we were thinking because I said it out loud. I'm like, well, sheesh, man. We can see why you're divorced. Like nobody's just gonna come out of nowhere and just start, just fucking yelling and being this uptight about things. And plus, like we overheard her. She was just there to get her driver's license. She had to be around like early 40s, mid 50s, somewhere along those lines. I call her DMV Karen just because it's just a real Karen moment. It's like those videos you see online, and you're like, God, I hope I never have to encounter a person like this in real life. But I did. I didn't even want to make eye contact because she just started being racist, bro. Like, she's because at one point there was a little bit of miscommunication because one of the workers there, she's Mexican. She has like a flag like behind her, and it's like this Mexican flag. I believe her name was Maria, and I guess the woman who was sitting down, DMV Karen, if you will, she thought that Maria was calling her over, and she wasn't. And the lady got up and she goes up to Maria and she's like, no, I didn't call you. Sorry, ma'am. I'm helping the people in line. And this woman just starts yelling again. She's like, what? What are you talking about? Do your job. Why aren't you helping me? I've been sitting here for like the last 30 minutes, which wasn't true because I was there in line and I was watching her. She had only been there for like 5 minutes max, bro. She was making shit out of her ass. Okay, she was lying and hell bent on terrorizing the whole DMV. All right, but anyway, she sat down or whatever and started going on a racist rant about Mexicans, bro. It wasn't even about no fucking. It wasn't even about a fucking driver's license anymore. And she's like, "What kind of people do you let work here? These goddamn, I'm not gonna repeat what she said, but just know Donald Trump would have been applauding and shit in the corner." But yeah, no. And then the security guards just had enough because she was legit starting throwing fucking fisticuffs with one of the old security guards, and it was funny because you would imagine this man is barely able to move. I don't know why they have my man standing there, because he wasn't a threat, bro. Anybody could outrun this man, and like a fucking 5-year-old child would be stronger than this man. But this woman just got dragged out of the DMV. But that was my week, a day before my birthday too, which was hilarious. But yeah, well, actually no, 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 no shout outs for DMV Karen. I hope she understands why, you need certain information for your driver's license, and like I said, I can see why she's divorced now. Uh, shout out to everybody who was in that line. We were all like cringing because this woman just went on a tirade. But don't terrorize your local DMV, man. They got a lot of shit that they got to do, and they don't. Do they get paid? I imagine they do, right? It's a job. What the fuck am I talking about? They don't get paid to fucking take such abuse. So don't be racist. But first story here, man. We can finally get into things. There's apparently a report that says that ultra processed food is actually being linked to depression. So this study was conducted by JAMA or JAMA. I don't know if that's an acronym or the actual name. Conducted by JAMA Open Network, which looked at the eating habits and mental health status of more than 31,000 women between the ages of 46 to 62. What the researchers found was that the women who ate ultra processed foods, which would be 9 servings per day, were 50% more likely to develop depression. Um, I know the study is about women and all, but you're telling me that DJ Khaled is suffering from depression right now as we speak? But in all seriousness, though, I would say that maybe that is a factor. Of course, there's plenty of more things that do contribute to high rates of depression. Economic status, uh, actually going through life, and maybe you don't find the love that you're looking for, or maybe you feel just depressed for unknown reasons. Depression comes in various forms, and there's a lot of signs, and sometimes we don't even acknowledge them or even see them that clearly. But yeah, your economic status could also affect your mental health. If you come from a low income background, you don't have food, you don't have materials, or you don't have certain things that you need to survive. Of course, that takes a toll. That takes a toll to your stress and to your brain. So I could definitely see this. Of course, this study was conducted on women. It doesn't really show anything about men, but you feel like shit after eating a bag of fucking Doritos. It's just what happens. You're in the moment, you're enjoying it, and then boom, you feel horrible. But of course, September is widely known as the month for awareness for mental health. I do wish that everybody who's watching this, whatever you're going through, whatever ups and downs or hills you're climbing, that you find someone or something to get your mind off things. Especially, I have my own spell, um, and I can't self-medicate myself, or I can't self-diagnose. Excuse me. So I won't say that I had depression, but I certainly was going through a rough patch, and I did have some intrusive thoughts, some thoughts that would affect my future indefinitely, and thoughts that if I acted them out would have bummed a whole lot of people. I know that for a fact. So I wish nothing but the best for anybody, man, woman, whatever you choose to identify as. There's a whole lot of negativity in the world. There's a whole lot of just, if you're younger, bullying. If you're older, stress about life. Maybe you have economic stress. Maybe you have financial stress. Maybe you just need a hug, man. And I feel that. I feel that so much. So I send a virtual hug to anybody who is listening. Whatever you're going through right now, it can only be temporary. I don't like to use the verbiage that some people have it worse because hey, at the end of the day, we don't know what each other are going through. We have no idea what our lives are like. We have no idea uh, what each of us is actually going through. So, some people's hills are harder to climb. So, I do invite everybody to be open minded. Whatever negativity you have in your mind or whatever problems you have, I hope they are resolved. And I really hope that everybody who is listening finds shelter. Wherever that safe space is for you, hopefully you get the help you need. It's okay to ask for help. It doesn't make you weak. It's not a sign of weakness, especially to the young men or just, men in general who might listen to this. It is not a sign of weakness. It is not a sign of not being able to be, quote, quote, a man, because a man is somebody who goes through every emotion. You can't be a stable man if you let all these emotions just rest inside you without letting them release. It's a really bad thing to bottle up these emotions. Trust me, trust me. I've tried. So I really hope that everybody can find somebody that they can talk to, and I really hope whatever situation you're going through, hopefully it gets better. That's my 2 cents about this. But speaking of new findings, doctors are claiming that in 10 years' time, humans will be able to work until the age of 120. This study comes from Dr. Ernest von Schwarz, who believes that rapid advancements in stem cells will actually allow us to live and work beyond current expectations. And in fact, at the end of the century, he predicts that people will be able to work by the age of 150. My first reaction to this was, in America, I don't think so, pal. Plus, even if we did, do you think that our old wrinkly asses would want to be doing jobs? Dude, if I'm 120, first of all, I gotta make it past like 40. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta pray that you're healthy enough to live a full life. Listen, man, I hear that people's age range and like life expectancy in different countries varies, but it sounds like they are living way longer in other countries than us. It could be down to a lot of things, man. We consume a lot of gross shit. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Uh, but like I was saying, plus even if we did live to 120, who the fuck would still be out here doing extensive manual labor? The damn wind is gonna knock us out. We're gonna we're gonna look like the grandma in the wheelchair in SpongeBob. The little dirt looking worm that's just being the wheelchair in SpongeBob. Like, oh my God, imagine that. Oh, but I did see that video. Bless whoever that couple was, whoever the family was, of the older gentleman who I believe was in his late 80s, and he was a pizza delivery man. And at one point, he went to deliver pizza to this one family. And, they were really appreciative. He talked about how there was a church down there that he goes to or might go to. I'm not too sure. And I was so, like, in awe, like, in a really good way, because I'm like, oh, that's so, he's still out here doing this earnest job and working for all this. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, damn, that's really depressing though, because why is this older gentleman having to do this? Extensive manual labor, man, it costs a lot. You're breaking down your body, you're going through all these pains and whatnot. But they were able to, raise some money. He got a fair amount of donations provided his way. And when they filmed his reaction, man, I was smiling ear to ear. I was grinning like like no other, man, because it just warms my heart, you know. But like I said, even if you were 120, I don't think that the last thing that I want to do, you know, I'm like fucking dying in the hospital. I'm on my last breath. I'm watching SpongeBob because you know comfort shows and shit. And then my fucking manager walks in and he's gonna whisper in my ears like, "Look, I know you're gonna die. You're my best worker. You've been my best worker. You're 120. But Johnny just clocked out. I need you back in at 4, man." I'm like, "What the fuck, man? I'm dying. Like, don't ask me to build a wall and shit. Don't ask me to fucking put your roof up. At 120, man, I if I even make it a fucking 50, it'll be a miracle. But at 120, man, I'll just put me in the box, man. What the fuck?" Switching gears here, though. America's poor math skills raise alarms over global competitiveness. So apparently, this is reported by Aspen. We're no longer keeping pace with other countries, particularly China. And Aspen calls it a dangerous failure. I didn't even know. Well, I did hear about this. There was a report a while back that was about LeBron's high school, I believe. I believe he has a high school, yeah. It was LeBron's school. And there was none of the students had actually good grades, or they were lacking in some area. I think it was math, and like none of them were able to do it. Uh, but yeah, I was thinking to this. Listen, I knew that it was a joke when you know they implemented Common Core. I was in elementary school, and they changed the curriculum to Common Core. And for those who don't know what Common Core is, you know, uh, let's just give you a little example. If you had to do 4 plus 2, you know, instead of just counting on your fingers and being like, oh, 4 plus 2, you know, 4, 5, 6, they would be like, no, 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 don't do that. Break down the 4 into what 4 can be, you know, total to. And you'd be like, oh, we can break 4 down to 2 plus 2. Okay, so now do 2 plus 2 plus the 2 that you had before, and you'll get 6. And that's like a little example. They would take, like, instead of doing it in one step, they would have you break it down into like fucking 3, 4, 5 steps if they fucking could. You know, that's when I knew that this shit was a joke, because they for real had us going all the way trying to they're trying to make us fucking have steps and shit that weren't necessary. Maybe that's not the best example, but you get the gist. Also, I don't know where this came from, but a lot of people are like talking about how math is racist and they needed to change the the curriculums the or the questions or something like that. One thing about education, and we've seen it plenty of times, not even education, just schools, specifically like focusing in on public schools, they don't necessarily get the best funding. And it sucks to hear that politicians are like, oh, we shouldn't allocate our money to the future. Like, this is your investment. You're not going to have astronauts. You're not going to have accountants. You're not going to have, you know, all these careers that require math if you keep like negating the students from their proper education. You know, people who come from underprivileged backgrounds and they're in a state that maybe has financial problems. You know, they live in poverty. They're not given the opportunities and they're not given the tools to utilize and actually improve their scores. So I guess in some tonation, I understand that math is racist. I don't think that that's the whole scheme. I think the umbrella term here would be that, you know, uh, there should be more funding to these public schools. Why, you know, why they don't choose to invest in their future? That honestly is a question that should be answered. But apparently it's not a big deal to you know some politicians. I don't make my podcast about politics, you know, but I do find it awful that you know because I was in elementary school and I went to Chicago public schools. We don't get that fucking much money, you know, and compared to other schools, like come on, man, you know, you should invest. You should want your future fucking I don't know, your future landscapers or whatever to know how to count some numbers. And it should not be about, oh, we should be allocating more money to, I don't know, fucking safety or fucking guns. I don't fucking know what the money goes to. Allocate your resources better, because as this is a continuing trend, you won't have people who are really qualified in these fields. Why is money continuously going to people who not necessarily don't need it, but they already get substantial and in all kind of words fair money and resources allocated to them. But that's obviously such a big issue to tackle and such a big concept that we could be here all day talking about it. But we should move on. A man has broken the world's fastest time to drink a Capri Sun. His name is Fayez Nazir, and he set a Guinness World Record as the fastest person to drink a Capri Sun. This took him 8.02 seconds. Listen, not to toot my own horn, but I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I can beat that easily. Because I saw the video of how he did it, and the man was struggling to detach the straw, which I guess counts as, it counts in the total seconds that it takes you. Okay? I feel like I can do that. I feel like anybody can do better than that. Come on. It's just really aiming for the hole, you know? As long as you got that, man, one suck and it's over. Pause. Whoa, what the fuck? That shit was crazy. But do you remember when, you were in elementary school, you go to lunch, everybody's got their greasy, sloppy joes and shit looking awful. And then you pull out your fucking Lunchables from your lunchbox and shit, man, you were the coolest kid back then. You had your Capri Sun on deck, from the get go. You were just out here eating mini frozen little build your own pizzas and shit with your little chips on the side. Oh man, you were easily, this is the equivalent of like being the star football player. Because elementary school they don't got like a fucking football team. So this is your chance to be like fucking the coolest guy. I remember my buddy. He always got his fucking Lunchables and shit. And in my mind, I'm like, oh man, this motherfucker must be rich as fuck. How is he affording all this? I'm trying to do the math and shit. By God. But speaking of being rich, you're gonna have to put up some numbers if you're trying to find yourself a beautiful man or woman or whatever you want to chase or pursue. You know. The next story sees Tinder is offering a VIP subscription, and it's gonna cost you $500 a month. So for $6,000 a year, users will exclusively get the ability to search and match, paying monthly for bots and the people who are like, oh, I like funny guys slash girls, is absolutely insane. You know how bad you have to be at dating to spend 6 bands and somehow still get rejected? Like at that point, just pack it up, man. Wow. Listen, is anybody gonna actually pay for this? Like, no judgment. Don't feel bad. Listen, if you gotta pay to play, it is what it is. Let me know in the comments. But I'm just saying, what happened to fucking going outside? Huh? What happened to I don't know, meeting people naturally? I will say, dating moderately is kind of weird because it's understandable, but like, damn, because you can't just walk up on somebody. People will take it way wrong, and it could lead to something else. You walk up to somebody. I saw it firsthand. I was at a Walmart, and there was this beautiful woman. She was like shopping with her child or whatever. Uh, and this guy, he was like a trucker dude. He was full, Tiger King looking ass, and I saw it too from a distance. I'm looking at my phone. I look up, and this guy, Tiger King looking guy, he literally takes off his trucker hat and he just mouths, "Oh my god!" Like he was mesmerized for real. And he looks at me and he gives me that like reassuring nod. He's like, "Yeah, I'm about to do that shit." And he walks up to the woman He's like, "Excuse me, ma'am. I don't want to seem weird, but my God, you got the fattest titties I've ever seen." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Because what he said, like, I got this. I'm thinking, oh man, he's gonna be suave. He's gonna be real nice about it. He's gonna show her manners and whatever, and it's gonna be good. I'm rooting for you, man. And he opened it up good. It's like, I'm not trying to be weird. I'm not trying to be creepy. But I'm just wondering. I'm like, yeah, dude, just hit the home run, man. You're already there. You've already struck. Just fucking finish running the bases. You know. But this man pulls out the fucking. You have the nicest titties I've ever seen. The fucking look on this woman, dude. It was just awful. I even cringed. I had to get the fuck out of there. I, dude, I had to drop my phone. I literally dropped my phone because I could not believe that this guy would say this. I was not, and the woman didn't even respond. She just walked away, and he was confused because he thought, "Man, this is Riz. This is game." And he walked over to me. He's like, "Did you see that?" I was so in there. I'm like, "Dude, you're not Greg. The fuck, you're not Greg from fucking Everybody Hates Chris." And this did not go the way that you fucking picture it in your mind. Uh, you know what? Forget everything I've fucking said. Maybe it's better if you pay. I don't fucking know. I wouldn't pay for a fucking app feature. What the fuck am I, Jeff Bezos? Even he, all the money in the world, and he still couldn't keep his fucking marriage. No shots. I'm just saying. But yeah, don't be like the don't be like the Tiger King guy that I saw at Walmart. Just be approachable, be friendly, don't be weird. If you gotta, if you guys gotta spend 6 bands, uh, I don't know what to tell you. That's up to you. But keeping it in relations to money, Domino's pizza employee had climbed up 6 hours up Mount Fuji to deliver a pizza. Now, this is an old story. This happened on August 21st, 2022. But all I gotta say is that this man took his job very seriously. But now that I think about it some more, this is a pretty good way to beat the system. I don't know. I don't need Domino's, but I imagine it's like every single fucking pizza chain that's really popular. They're like, oh, well, if we don't deliver this in 30 minutes or less, your pizza's free. That employee said bet, and he started climbing and shit. The pizza itself was actually worth $27 with 50 cents, but my man's better have gotten a fucking $100 tip if he climbed up for so long. Personally, if I would have gotten that fucking call, I'm like, dude, there's just no fucking way. What do you want me to get on a fucking helicopter and deliver it to you? Like, what the fuck? What are you expecting from me, man? I just got hired like last week, dude. I had the opportunity. When I was employed, I worked a little bit, just a little bit of fucking. I was gonna say pizza. No, I worked for this Little Caesars for a little bit, and I got a call. It was a little late, and the address wasn't like the fucking clearest, so I got lost a little bit. When I pulled up to a graveyard, this motherfucker invited me to the cemetery. It's like, oh man, and when I got there, dude, it looked like a cult. I was really struggling, dude. I was like, I don't know if fucking a $5 tip is worth an exorcism. Like I don't think that's the vibes. And they were, I tell you, it was four dudes just standing around, like holding hands and shit around this one fucking grave. Where they buried somebody, and it's like, oh, the pizza's here. I was like, nah, man, you know what? Y'all can have it, bro. This shit is not worth it. I didn't even walk up to them. I just put it next to the ground. I didn't even collect money. I was just like, fuck it. I'll take the blame for this. But I ain't getting nowhere near the fucking cemetery, dude. I'm not getting near the grave. Nope. I'm not about to get fucking haunted by, I don't know, Abraham Lincoln's fucking ghost just for you to eat a fucking slice of pepperoni pizza. Yeah, just thinking about it. That job didn't last long. I'm not gonna lie. That one experience ruined it for me. I was like, what the fuck is this? But yeah. Speaking of experiences, Joe Biden posted on X Can't say tweeted anymore because it's not Twitter anymore. But he posted on X. He said, "Concert tickets are hard enough to get. You shouldn't have to pay surprise fees on top of that. My administration is working to crack down on those junk fees, so you know what you're paying up front." Biden is out here upset because he couldn't get Drake tickets. Like for real, he must have been like, man, I'm trying to go to the Eras tour. I'm trying to go to the fucking what is this shit called? Life's a Blur tour. He he must have felt bad. But I gotta agree, man. Why are ticket scams so popular? Wasn't there also something about, oh, we're gonna count that as part of your taxes if you're out here scamming people, if you're out here selling fucking tickets, that's gonna cost you some more too. Which is great because some of these people just be selling with no fucking intention, dude. Why the fuck are the tickets $500 and you're fucking reselling them for like 1,000? That shit's crazy. Um, but it's funny when people just get in there without the fucking securities kicking them out. I've only gone to a couple of concerts before, and I gotta tell you, man, the securities aren't always the best, especially like Lollapalooza, here in Chicago and shit. People just be breaking in, like they just get in with no fucking invitation. But it's funny as fuck watching the security guards trying to kick them out. There's always like a stampede of them just moshing around them. Like I saw for real, they were trying to kick somebody out, and they were grabbing them by the waist and shit. They were pulling them out, and these dudes, I guess they just rushed the security guard and they just started like knocking them down. And this guy's trying to get up on his feet, and these dudes are just like fucking moshing around him. Like they just entrapped him. You let the homie go. But hopefully, yeah, no ticket resellings of tickets. The that goes away because yeah, motherfuckers don't know how to fucking negotiate. Like damn. But here we got this story. Jason Momoa reportedly dressed up as Amber Heard's ex-husband, Johnny Depp, to scare her. In her words, he was trying to terrorize her. Man, put that Halloween costume to work. That's some funny shit though. That sounds like a stand-up man. Yeah. I'm wondering if she shit herself again. Like she saw Johnny Depp and she was like, "Oh fuck," and just started shitting herself. That is the weirdest thing to learn about Amber Heard in fucking court. I can't believe how they were so quick to come out with a fucking documentary about it, and two, and B, learning that she shit the bed like purposefully. Like what the fuck? Those are not pieces of evidence that I wish I would have seen or even mentioned. But yeah, the whole trial just proved how ride or die some women are just for their lady. Even if she's in default, even if she's done fucking harm. I just saw a lot of angry feminists. They were like, "Well, we don't give a fuck if she actually did this. This is Amber Heard. This is here goes the man." Like Jesus Christ. But that whole trial was such a meme worthy time. And like I said, I can't believe they came out with so many documentaries. But yeah, Amber Heard, I don't fucks with her. Even though she's in like my favorite movie, like top movies that I continuously watch every single year, that being Zombieland. Uh, but yeah, it's just weird knowing that she shit the bed. One question though that has been floating around here: does it really matter if a rapper has ghostwriters? I know this might be upsetting to a lot of people, especially OG rap fans, but honestly, not really. As long as the song still sounds good. And that might be tame, but that's the world that we live in, man. Well, what can we say? It's evolved. Hip hop has evolved. I don't personally have a problem with it as long as a rapper who's being held by ghostwriters does not claim to be the best or the greatest rapper alive. You can't be the greatest of all time if you don't write your own material. Which then leads me to like the fucking idea of, so where does Drake fit into all this? Like, where does Drake actually, like, if we're talking greatest, there's a big difference between greatest artist and greatest rapper. Drake has so many quotables, but we know that in his songs he has a bunch of ghostwriters. We know that he had help from Quentin Miller. We know that he's had people write for him, and he's written for people too. But where do we draw the line here? Is Drake the best artist, or do you feel like he's the greatest rapper? I would not place him as the greatest rapper, only because, like I said, if I'm talking straight rap, I can't put somebody who doesn't write their own songs as the best. Uh, but in terms of an artist, hell yeah, he's he's one of the best, one of the most selling artists. I believe he just needs one more Billboard hit or something like that to catch up with Michael Jackson or to tie him, which would be very incredible. Like fucking jaw dropping because Michael Jackson didn't have fucking Spotify. That's the difference between Drake and fucking Michael Jackson. No, a lot of people are like, oh man, Drake is this generation's Michael Jackson, which I find fucking crazy because Michael Jackson is fucking worldwide superstar. Even my fucking parents, they're Mexican. They know who the fuck Michael Jackson is. He has cultural impact. So does Drake in a way, but he's worldwide, but not to the grandeur that the fucking Michael Jackson is. When Michael Jackson stepped outside, it was a fucking problem. You have people rushing up to him. You were like, oh my god, it's the goat. It's MJ for real. But yeah, I mean, I like Drake. He's a really good rapper. But I just wouldn't give him the merit of being one of the best with a pen because we don't know how much help he's gotten on songs. And like I said, I can't discredit him. He's a terrific artist. And I think even some of his projects go a little bit unrecognized or not appreciated enough. A lot of people shit on him. I wouldn't necessarily count myself as somebody who does. I'm not critical of Drake because I know what I'm getting when I listen to a fucking Drake album. Um, I've come around a little bit to that. What was it? I've come around to honestly, never mind. Uh, it's not like his worst. Well, it is. Like in terms of his whole discography, it probably is, isn't it? What is the worst Drake album in your opinion? What's the best that he's been at? Uh, you know, let me know. But he definitely doesn't get enough credit for his quotables. Some of them can be cheesy. Some of them can be like, "Ah, that's so fucking lame or whatever. But this man has proven to stay relevant. He's on top for a reason. That Drake effect is real, man. Yeah. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of ghostwriters in general. I definitely do have a lot of opinions on it, but I want to know what you guys think. Speaking of ghosts, though, Kevin Bacon reportedly destroyed a haunted house on his farm because the previous owner feared he'd get possessed. Listen, that's amazing thinking. Better safe than sorry. Don't fuck around and find out with evil demonic shit. Apparently, Kevin Bacon, he bought the farm in 1983 through this owner who was hesitant on selling it because he thought that it was allegedly haunted. They ended up reaching an agreement where he was allowed to buy it, but under the condition that he destroyed it a month after the purchase. Apparently, there had been a murder surrounding a 1700s Native American by a colonial soldier. And, my man's was in his Randy Orton bag. He was hearing voices and shit. But yeah, no, I think it's better safe than sorry, like I said, because listen, especially on a fucking farm, you don't know if that's a cow or if that's fucking Paulina that died like in 2011 and is coming back for vengeance. So I feel that. Um, I definitely had my own experience with paranormal activity and shit. After my grandma passed, you know, this had been probably like 2 weeks. After my grandma passed, I was sitting on the toilet and I was done with my business. And, as I'm flushing or whatever, I hear a scratch on the door. And this is like 10 p.m. The whole family's fucking asleep. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, maybe that's my dad. He's the type of person that does that. If you're taking too long, or he wants to mess with you a little bit, he's gonna scratch the door. That's just what he does. It's like a prank to him. And I'm like, oh yeah, faha, funny dad, And but I want to tell you, when he scratched the door, like there's such I opened that door in like 2 seconds because I had my pants. I pulled my pants up, and like there's no way that he could have ran from the bathroom all the way back to the bedroom in 2 seconds. There's no way. And it was a loud scratch too. I'm like, oh damn, he put some emphasis on it. And I quickly opened the door. There was nobody there, bro. There was no fucking body there. And I legit, I've never had fear of ghosts, and I never have, never will. But like even I got shivers, because at times I would be in bed, and sometimes I would even hear whispers, and all of a sudden my room got cold. Listen, I had a really nice relationship with my grandma, so I hope that all these contacts that she was attempting were to try to tell me that she loved me and shit. Because I don't know if I don't think I've ever pissed off my grandma. So I'm hoping that she was trying to be nice to me, and contact me telling me that she loves me and shit. Because I would be crying if she didn't. And she was like, "Oh man, remember that time you didn't take out the trash? Ooh, haunts you forever and shit." But yeah, that was my ghost story. Have you ever been in contact with relatives, or maybe even somebody in the afterlife? Let me know. Do you play the Ouija game? I would never play that shit. But listen, I'm a very superstitious person. I don't believe in bringing in bad energy if you can avoid it. And I think that's worked out for me thus far, because besides this one little interaction, I guess I haven't had an experience, and I want to keep it that way. But yeah, that's enough about ghosts. I think we should move on to something a little lighthearted. I saw a picture. I saw a meme. I feel like an old person. Like I feel hella old being like, I saw a meme today, guys. I saw one of those pictures with text and shit. Yeah, I saw a picture, and the caption was like, "Oh, nothing like a nice coleslaw pop on a hot summer day." And I guess somebody, got in their DIY bag and started, obviously this is a person who's never been in the kitchen, and they decided to say, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna mix around and combine things that don't belong together." They made a coleslaw pop. How many atrocities can people get away with? First of all, who the fuck just eats coleslaw? When y'all go to KFC, do y'all even get the coleslaw as like one of your sides? This is a genuine question. That man, just fucking get some mac and cheese and shit. Who the fuck eats coleslaw? This belongs in the Hall of Shame, Food Edition. You got your fucking ranch ice cream, your mustard Skittles, and then fucking coleslaw pops. Fucking disgusting. Like, what do you tell me? You putting ranch on that shit on top of your ice cream? Man, this tastes pretty good. You don't know what you're missing. I bet I do, man. What the fuck? Yeah. Listen, I'm not gonna blame a demographic for this, but I'm just saying there's only one particular demographic who fucking eats coleslaw, the main consumer of coleslaw. Uh, and I'm gonna just keep it at that. But listen, there was a couple who was livid after being sat beside a farting dog in a 13-hour flight. You know what? I feel that. If I'm sitting next to, what would be worse actually? 13 hours, boom. Are you sticking around for the farting dog, or are you sticking around for the child kicking your seat repeatedly? Listen, some parents gotta get their kids under control, especially on flights, because should be insane. There's no reason why I gotta get my fucking seat cake by little Johnny. And then it'd be the worst when there's like a newborn and they're crying profusely, you know? Which I get, it's a baby, of course, but it's like, man, we're here for at least the next 9 hours. Come on, have some fucking sympathy for the rest of us. They eventually did get a $14,000 refund. But by God, they must have gave that boy, must have gave that little doggy some of that gas station food, because that will fuck you up, man. Uh, oh, I knew I was in for a bad time when I walked into that gas station that one time. Uh, Probably like 3 years ago. And man, I was there for a Gatorade, and when I turn around, I see the pizza. The pizza slices chilling by the sushi, and I'm like, first of all, fucking gas station sushi? Who the fuck eats this? Uh, but I can't complain because I knew somebody. Latinos are fucking crazy. And this is coming from a Hispanic man. I've witnessed it firsthand. Why the fuck so many girls, at school, they would fucking go like dead ass 6 in the morning. They got their Starbucks in hand, their iced coffee or whatever, and they're eating fucking hot Cheetos and fucking Takis and whatever the fuck. Man, you are just asking for the worst shits of your life. Like how are you living? Your immune system must be fucking like made of steel or some shit that like this fiery concoction just like fucking penetrates through all your guts, man. Like how is this a thing? Um, man, I used to know so many people like that. I wonder where they're at now, man. I wonder if they're still doing their thing. Uh, man, my stomach is actually pretty sensitive. Like I can't eat spicy stuff that much. I used to go hard. I think I must have fucked up along the way to not be able to enjoy spicy shit anymore. Cause it's like it takes a certain level of spice and back on the shitter, Clog. I think I had a problem once I clogged the toilet. I think I had a problem once I clogged that toilet for like the second time in one day. I was like, oh man, I should really stop eating this shit because I'm just hurting myself, man. I'm just out here fucking around. But speaking of fucking around, dude, Shakira got charged with tax evasion for the second time. Gun to your head, name me three Shakira songs besides Waka Waka. Shit. But seriously, how do you get caught up two times? Like she already got charged with this shit before, and now she's back at it. She says, "Man, this is what I do." She ended up defrauding Spain of $7.1 million in 2018. Shit, man, these hips don't lie, but the tax forms do. You know. Could you imagine Shakira in jail? I don't know shit about defrauding the states. I pay my taxes, of course. IRS did not come get me. But can you imagine being her cellmate? I imagine they would bully the shit out of her. Like they won't go to sleep unless you start singing fucking Waka Waka over and over and shit. But yeah, man, I think it's hilarious too that Ted Bundy, very notorious criminal, very popular, Chicago and shit. I find it hilarious that he was not caught because of all of the atrocities and everything that he did, but it was because Mans didn't pay his fucking taxes. Which just goes to show how much money is valuable, and you're not getting away with it, buddy. You can't defraud us. We are the U.S. We care about fucking oil and our fucking money. Get your money up, not your funny up. But hopefully, I was gonna say congratulations to Shakira, but wish her well, I guess. It's okay. I've never met a person who has told me that they are Shakira fans or that, oh, I just bought that new Shakira album. Where is Shakira most popular in? I would have to imagine not in the US. But shout out to her. Because she needs help. she needs support right now. And speaking of support, the student family sued Texas officials over the suspension of their son over his hairstyle. Now, this is kind of an old story in terms of when it happened, but the family ended up filing a federal civil rights lawsuit against the state governor and the attorney general. This was due to a 17-year-old kid named Daryl George, who has been serving a suspension since August 31st at Barber Hills High School, which is ironic, considering what the accident is about. School officials stated that his dreadlocks fell below his eyebrows and earlobes, which violates the district's dress code. I don't know why they're hating on my man's. That honestly just feels like a specific dress code. And who is out here enforcing this? Like, do you got somebody with a fucking ruler just going up to the kid and be like, "Oh no, 2 inches, 2 inches over. That's a violation. Flag on the play and shit." Getting suspended over fucking hair is absolutely outrageous, considering the fact that we just talked about how students are fucking failing at math. I think we have bigger fish to fry than something as petty as hair. Uh, and I saw a lot of people commenting and they were weighing in their opinions. And they were like, "Oh, this is a dress code for a reason. Dress to impress. Dress for the job you want." And all this other shit. But you fail to realize that this is fucking high school. I think we all had our moments where we tried different hairstyles. We tried, doing something nice for ourselves or whatever, trying to test things out. At the end of the day, he's a kid, you know? He's a young man. Why you care so much about his hairstyle? That's a question that only you have an answer to. Uh, but I'm saying as long as it doesn't disrupt his education, why is it such a problem? It disrupts his education now because you're making such a big deal out of it, but it's like, how does this violate a dress code? Like, whoa, what is this trying to imply? What is this saying? I won't push a narrative, but I'm just saying, like, this is particularly strict and for no good reason, in my opinion. So hopefully the family does win this. Definitely rooting for them because it just seems like such a petty thing to suspend somebody for. I'm sure he wasn't going to school thinking, "Oh man, people are gonna love this." Let me be a distraction. Nobody goes to school thinking of that. And it just seems like a weird thing to enforce. Like I said, bigger fish to fry. But sticking with lawsuits, a family is suing Google Maps after it allegedly led a father off a bridge. The accident reportedly occurred on September 30th, 2022. Uh, the widow, Alicia Paxson, is suing Google Maps over the death of her husband, Philip Paxson, who drowned after being led to a fallen bridge in Hickory, North Carolina. Firstly, that's just really tragic and unfortunate shame. Google Maps, of course, isn't always the most reliable. It doesn't update live. So if you use it, I wish that all of you stay safe. Apparently, it was really bad weather too, which, just pointing that out there because there were people who were like saying, "Oh, did he not see a bridge? How do you not notice that there's a fucking bridge missing?" To that we say, there obviously the weather was really bad, and of course, if you're looking at your phone, you're not paying attention that well, you're bound to be in an accident. This is a horrific and, like I said, very unfortunate event that occurred. Um, and yeah, hopefully they find peace. Hopefully they do win this and get well. I guess she's gonna get money out of this. Hopefully she finds safety in that. But like I said, if you're driving, don't be on your phones. It's better to drive slow, man. I'm telling you. But not on the freeway, of course, because you're gonna cause accidents. So hopefully they they resolve that. But sticking with more statistics here, research suggests that people don't become adults until their 30s. The MRI scans come from 297 volunteers from participants varying through ages 14 through 27, and they reveal that the brain goes through significant changes beyond the age of 18. Now thinking about that's such a weird thing to think about, considering like age gaps in relationships, which to each their own, as long as it's legal in your state. But this goes to like a photo that I saw. I think it was Madonna. I don't know how old she is. She's either in her late 50s or early 60s. I'm not too sure. But she was seen being real handsy with a 21-year-old. And I like, like what the fuck? Do you remember when she just straight up kissed Drake like on stage and he was like throwing up on the side? She must have thought she was all that, and then just violation, big fucking violation. But yeah, no, the thing with that's not even cougar status no more with the 21-year-old. It's got to be Snaggertooth. Like what the fuck? It's got to be something else, man. But same thing with like Leonardo DiCaprio. Like if you're over what 21 or something, like he's like, I don't think so. Uh, these celebrities can't keep getting away with it. Same thing with Al Pacino. I don't remember how old the partner was, but isn't he having a child or some shit, or he had a child, something along those lines? He's like in his fucking 70s, dude. Put the pipe down. Stop slanging everywhere. You don't need to, man. You don't need to do all this no more. But yeah, it is really weird when you think about it. People, of course, you don't fucking stop developing at 18. Your brain goes through more changes. You become more mature. You have more stages or phases where you grow, of course. And yeah, I mean, we all did dumb shit as little kids. I imagine we also do dumb stuff as teenagers and as young adults. Like we're just trying to figure this out. So of course we wouldn't have shit already intact by the age of like fucking 21. Uh, but yeah, that 30 age is fucking crazy. So if I fuck up, I can just blame it on the fact that I'm not fully developed in the brain. So that's nice to know. And speaking of knowing, we know that a reboot of The Office is being planned and it will be announced after the strikes are lifted. By fucking God. Do not do this. It's already good as it is. Don't do this. I'm on my knees at fucking Walmart. Do not do a reboot. Reboots don't fucking end well. Hollywood is so stale that they can't come up with like original concepts anymore. Have they not learned from fucking Charlie's Angels or fucking MacGyver? Do you not learn? It's a problem that I have had like the last years because nothing pisses me off more than the fucking Scooby Doo ass show that they had. Not Scooby Doo, Velma, the Velma show. Not necessarily a reboot, but just like a rendition of what was once a good show. But just the awful rendition of what's already an amazing show in Scooby Doo itself. They change every aspect of the characters. Uh, Velma, of course, becoming like very outspoken and like I guess lesbian with fucking Daphne, which no problem, of course. But it's just the fact that she's how do I even go about this? They ruined Velma, dude. They made her really bitchy, like they made her intolerable, bro. And like, listen, I don't have a problem. It's just like, where's Scooby? Like you can't be out here like the mystery gang and shit and not have the dog. Like that's the main attraction. My man Scooby is the main prize. And then they made like they made what was his name? Oh my god, they made Fred into like a racist or like the rich boy, which is hilarious because none of these character attributes match anything we've seen on the fucking original show. But is this show even still going? Did they get renewed for a new season? I don't know. I stopped watching. Well, that's not even true. I never watched to begin with. I just stopped like paying attention to it. I know the creator of the fucking Velma show. She centered her personality, her experiences as Velma, and she's known to be like the character in real life. Which sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't think it worked in this occasion. Uh, they made Shaggy black. That's something, I guess. And they don't even call him Shaggy. They're the Norville or whatever the fuck his name is. Listen, if you're gonna do a rendition, pay homage. You know, don't be switching shit up. Like I don't have a problem with the switch. It's just like this has nothing to do with the show. Like you're just capitalizing on the name. That's so ass. Just like the Snow White film that I was talking about a few, episodes back, where I'm like, oh, this has nothing to do with the original plot of Snow White. Just like this. This has nothing to do with fucking Scooby. What mysteries are you solving? Where's the dog? Where's my Sherlock? You know? And I don't know. There's been like rumblings about them maybe not wanting to do the Snow White film no more. Who knows? That whole thing is a mess. Like I said, Hollywood would not be having this problem if they just made like original movies. But hey, nothing brings big bucks like nostalgia. Even if it means doing reboots and remakes of things that don't necessarily need them. They're OGs and fucking amazing already invented shows or TV mediums or fucking movies that have been made years ago. There's no need to bring them back. We already got what we came here for. And then you count in the fact that they changed the characters, the plots, and everything else. What is this new Office gonna look like? Obviously, I think it wouldn't be like the same cast. They would put somebody younger or newer, whoever that might be. But even then, it's like, dude, we already had this. Come up with something original. We don't need this. And all you're gonna do is piss everybody off, and we're just gonna watch the original fucking seasons all over again. Do better, Hollywood. But ending things off here, the Shrek Swamp is available for stay on Airbnb. Imagine fucking on the Shrek bed. That's for real life goals bucket list type shit. I gotta say, man, I don't know why, and I don't know if it's just me, but Shrek in Spanish, it just hits different. It's just way funnier. Like, especially when Lord Farquaad has the fucking cookie, the gingerbread man on the fucking pan, and he's torturing him. And it's just funnier, dude. I don't know why. But yeah, we need a donkey standalone movie. For real, for real. Like, out of all the characters, I didn't think that the first like spin-off was gonna be Puss in Boots. I thought if anything, we would get a donkey standalone film. We gotta. I'll give you a plot. How about like a donkey movie? Him trying to raise his dragon donkey babies. Maybe he goes on some adventures. Dude, no, you know what? I finally understand why it was funnier in Spanish because my senior year of high school, we were we had nothing better to do. We were done with the courses and whatever. We were done with the content. Um, the teacher just played like Shrek on the fucking TV, and dude, when they transform Shrek into a human, like we're all in awe or whatever. We've seen it 1,000 times, of course, but it was just so funny. Just some girl in the background. Oh, he's so hot. Like what the fuck? I know she's screaming at the fact that she can now rent the Shrek swamp. You know, I bet it's gonna have like I bet there's no bed. You just sleep on the floor, like get the full Shrek experience. But yeah, please don't do any more reboots. Just give us the Donkey standalone movie. You know. But yeah, man. That's pretty much it for me. Listen, if there's anything to learn, don't be racist. I can't believe I have to like remind people that being racist is wrong. Also, don't fuck around with ghosts because they could be friendly. They could be Casper, or they could be your worst nightmare. Hopefully, it's not the latter. If you pay for Tinder, you know, I don't know what to tell you, man. $500, you could at least get some subways out of that. I'm just saying. Don't commit tax fraud. That's the biggest lesson, actually. Don't commit tax fraud. Don't defraud the United States because they take that shit more seriously than you think. I am a law-abiding citizen. Pay your taxes, or Uncle Sam will swat you.